Hello, beautiful people. So, I just wanted to come on and share the complex reality that is living with chronic illness, chronic fatigue, and also having ADHD, potentially autism. And we now know that there's a huge correlation crossover between especially women that have ADHD, also can have fibromyalgia, which is the condition that I have, or chronic fatigue, and just like neurodivergence and hypermobility and health issues is very, very common. And, I've done so much work on, yeah, first of all, like accepting my body and the way it functions and what I need to be able to stay healthy and live, a happy life. And so much of that, in fact, all of it is slowing down. And it's so interesting because it's such for years I would struggle so much with the because I was able to kind of push through for so long. I mean, I was diagnosed when I was 16, so I've always had issues with my health from a young age. But yeah, for a long time, I wasn't accepting of it. I would just still try to push through, try to conform, try to, go back to like how life was before because it didn't seem like there was another path or another option. And so much of that is rooted in the fear programming of how we're indoctrinated in this world and what success should look like and what happiness should equate to and all that shit. And so now I'm like, today is such a milestone because there's been a lot changing recently, a lot. And yeah, getting to a place where it's like, when I notice that my body, what it feels like physically is like there's weights on my spine that literally pull me down to the earth. And that's my body telling me you need to stop, you need to rest. And if I was to just push through and ignore those signals, then I end up more exhausted. I then get disconnected from my heart and my emotions because that's what happens when you're exhausted, or you're just in like really sad, heavy emotions that actually, if you just slept and rested, then that's the medicine for it. And so, yeah, this is just like, awareness of what it is really like living with chronic illness. And being neurodivergent is like my symptoms literally can change from hour to hour. I woke up today, I'd slept for 12 hours. So I was like, right, I'll feel good. I can go ahead with my plans. I'll get packed and I'll drive to Glasgow. And after I packed, that was like all my spoons used up, all my batteries used up. And then it was like, yeah, but for me, it's the listening to the signals of the body and the voice and the emotions. Like if I couldn't have pushed through today. I mean, it's like it's risky, right? It's like I shouldn't be driving if I'm that tired. And this is the thing with like having ADHD, it's like the ADHD wants the shiny thing, it wants to do the thing, it wants to go see my friends, it wants to go be in a different environment, whatever. But it's like, yeah, what cost? Like if I go and do that and then I'm just absolutely exhausted back at square one again. And so, yeah, it's taken me a long time to get to a place where I can be really honest about the reality of my situation with my friends and the people in my life, and also really honor my boundaries of like, actually, no, I don't need to go and force myself to drive through and like, because there's a part of me that's like, oh, it's going to be so fun, but it's like, it's not going to be fun if you're exhausted, is it? um, and so listening to the body and giving the body what it needs, like it really requires us to slow down and tune in. And then when you do that, it's like the voice of my soul is like, yes, she's learning. And also like it's absolutely glorious sunshine. I'm sitting here getting my tan on. Why the fuck would I want to drive to Glasgow? My whole body's like, no, bitch, we're staying home. So yeah, but I used to struggle with this so much because it would make me feel like this helpless little child where I would then be like wanting people to forgive me because I would be so scared of letting them down and having to cancel plans. And it's like, really, if the tables were turned and it was someone else in that situation, it's like, one, it takes so much fucking compassion and self-love and patience and empathy for yourself when you have a chronic illness. So much, so fucking much. And so therefore it's like, for the other people, it's like, well, no offense, but you're not the one that's dealing with this. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm sorry that it might be an inconvenience to your day or your plans, but you know, when it actually comes down to my health and my well-being at the forefront, I'm going to choose my health. I'm going to choose not to override the signals of my body. And I'm very lucky that I have some friends that are extremely understanding and empathetic, and there's no stress there. There's no stress. But it's always a challenge when it's like there's a new friend or a new situation and you're having to kind of, because it's the vulnerability, right? Of like, oh yeah, an hour ago I was totally up for this and I was getting all organized to come and see you, and now I physically can't do that. Because, like, I am not a flaky person. If I'm into something, I'm into it. If I'm not into it, I'm not into it, and it's pretty damn obvious. So, yeah, constantly being led back to a slow life. And I'm so fucking grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it because now, after years of kind of struggle, I'm at a point where I've accepted that and I see the medicine of it and I see the magic of it. And I feel very lucky to have been shown a different way of living in a world where everyone is constantly trying to catch their tail or keep up or they're on the hamster wheel. And like, my soul just didn't conform to any of that shit. So here we are. So yeah, that's my transmission today, guys. Sending love to all my fellow beings out there who live with complex health issues or dynamic disabilities. It's not easy, but stand strong, honor your body, honor your boundaries, speak your truth. And it's not your job to be responsible for people's emotional responses. You aren't responsible for how people react or respond, and that's information for you as well to say, do I want this person to, is this a safe relationship, a safe friendship? So yeah, transmission over.